Complete and utter domination as the St. Louis Battlehawks take game number 1 of the UFL season with a 31-6 beatdown over the Houston Roughnecks. Holy cow. What a freaking start to this season for St. Louis. Everybody came into the season. There were a lot of questions about Manny Wilkins, about what he could bring to this St. Louis offense, and he came out and dominated. He absolutely took over this St. Louis offense and proved why he's going to be the guy in 2025. Guys, we talked about this majority of the offseason. We talked with Arlington Lane about it. We talked about what he's going to do this year as a St. Louis Battlehawk in his first full season as a starter. And look, if any of you are surprised that this happened, you should have looked at what he did during the preseason. You should have looked at what he did whenever he was in the middle of spring practice or in the middle of inter squad games. But anyways, guys, we are live once again. This is Inside the Huddle. I am your host, as always, Lucas Hill. Thank you for joining us in once again. Everybody, do us a favor. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that comment section below. Make sure you leave a like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on those bell notifications as well. If you're watching this on Instagram, make sure that you are tuned in as well. Make sure you leave a comment and follow at Lucas_Hill_17. If you're watching us on X, make sure that you hit that like. Make sure you hit the repost. Make sure you join the link down below so that you can be a part of our broadcast as well. Every post-game show is brought to you by our good friends over at vocalbreaks.com. That's vocalbreaks.com. Use that code LucasHill10 for 10% off of your initial month off. It is one of the best in the music production game. So go on over to vocalbreaks.com and use that code LucasHill10 for more. Starting off the game, because my gosh, guys, this was incredible from start to finish. You start the game off. Honestly, do I have any opinion about the kickoff? It's not really. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day, guys. But from start to finish, this was dominated. But I will say the beginning was rough for St. Louis. I wasn't sure about what to think about Manny Wilkins at the beginning. I thought he showcased a lot of great ability to get outside the pocket. But I think after that first drive, that's when he started to settle down. So let's go over it drive by drive. You start the game off. You start it off. First drive of the game. You go down the field in 6 plays and 30 yards. You end up turning it over on downs. You go for it on 4th and inches. You get 2 penalties, by the way, guys. 2 penalties that killed you. One of which Manny Wilkins scrambles on, I think, 3rd and about, or no, it was around 3rd and 7. He picks up the first. Boom, you get a holding penalty. You got to back it up 10. I think it's 3rd and 17 again. He gets outside the pocket. Manages to pick up the first down. And look, guys, this is the discipline that we talked about, guys. It was just not a good showing for the Battlehawks. Or not a good showing for the Roughnecks, I should say. Just downright bad. And I feel like after that first initial drive for St. Louis, that's when things started to settle down. Houston generates momentum off of the turnover. You get the football right back. In comes the first drive for Anthony Brown and company. Start off, run, first play. Heck of a play by Q Cole. I mean, just an unbelievable play that Q Cole made on the interception. Cannot ask for anything than that. That was impressive from what he did. Manages to jump the route, gets it in there, tips it up, and makes an acrobatic play to get the INT. Huge play that St. Louis was able to generate from there. And then the run game just came out. That was the biggest thing that really took my breath away when it came to this game was the way that St. Louis ran the football. They ran with authority, 273 to 94, and you put up almost 500 yards of offense. Impressive. Absolutely impressive. You know, you cannot do anything but just really be in awe of what St. Louis was able to do up front. You got to give that offensive line a lot of credit for what they did. Guys, that was so impressive of what they were able to do. And I have nothing but great things to say about that. And nothing but amazing things to say about what we just saw. You on. Jackson, 5 yards. Sayers. Manny Wilkins. Howard. Sayers. Wilkins starting to scramble. Guys, I mentioned this already. Guys, Manny Wilkins went on a tear in the run game. I'll be honest with you. You needed to. Manny Wilkins can scramble. You better utilize it to your advantage. And it worked out just fine for Manny Wilkins. That was the perfect play design for Manny Wilkins and company. You needed it. I'll be honest with you. You needed something like that. Something to generate some momentum. Manny Wilkins was the guy for you. Jarby and Howard, hell of a game. Jacob Sailors, hell of a game. Unbelievable. Jacob Sailors went off too. Jacob was dominant in all phases of this game, both in the passing department and in the run game. Absolutely incredible with what they were able to do. And this is what gets me too. So it's offensive holding. It's 3rd and 13. Or no, never mind. We're on the second one. Jacob Sailors, 21-yard run. Manny Wilkins, 12-yard run. You get to the 3-yard line, and then Jacob Sailors punches it in from 4 yards out for the touchdown. You would miss the 2-point conversion, so you try to get some trickery. You try to get Jacobson involved in the pass game, trying to get to Denzel Mims. Doesn't get there. Houston gets it right back. And really, things just never mature. I feel like they just never could get anything on offense. And I think that if you're C.J. Johnson and company, you got to go back to the drawing board and find another quarterback. We talked about it during the week, is that this has to be the game that you find your quarterback. If you weren't able to do that, you were going to be in a world of trouble. I don't know what Houston's future looks like with their quarterback situation. Because right now, Anthony Brown just didn't look ready. Nolan Henderson, as experienced as he is in this offense, I don't know if I can trust him with a bad offensive line, dude. You got pushed around by that St. Louis O-line. Or that St. Louis D-line, excuse me. So you started to get a little bit of something going, and then you end up basically shutting the door down. What I think that St. Louis's best capability and their best quality about this team is their ability to chew clock. You went on a 5-yard or a 10-play, 6-minute drive. Yeah, 5.5-minute drive. That's what you were able to do. And that was impressive. Houston does nothing, goes 3 and out. Surprised they didn't go for it on 4th and 1 from the 44-yard line. And then this is St. Louis doing what St. Louis does. 2 big plays to start it off. Manny Wilkins throwing to Jacob Sailors creates some big yardage. It was just a short little dump out. And Jacob Sailors just made plays. Same thing. Going down the left sideline, Ja'Cour Pearson got it. Ja'Cour Pearson again. Now you're all the way out to the Houston 26. So now that was the end of the first quarter. Overall, this game was about the time of possession. And look, we went into this game knowing that this was the thing. Manny Wilkins scrambling. Manny Wilkins to Frank Darby. Gets out of bounds at the 1. And then Manny Wilkins punches it in from a yard out. You missed the 2-point conversion. Doesn't matter. You're up 12-0. 9 plays, 84 yards. Next series for Houston. Doesn't do anything. Dude, this is the wheels came off the tracks for this Houston team as soon as their first offensive series began. They had no answer for the big plays they were able to generate and the big stops that their defense got because you give it right back to St. Louis, whether it be a 3 and out or whether it be a turnover. Starting off, Anthony Brown sacked. Next play. It's 3rd and 1, by the way. Lingard gets the first down. You finally pick up a first. Anthony Brown, another scramble. Gets 20. Showcases his capability. Now you got a drive going. Cavante Barrett doesn't do anything. 3rd and 10. Looking to the right side. Great jump on the route by Dennis. And his ability to locate the football and disguise in coverage. Very, very impressive of what he was able to do. I thought that was a terrific design by Lucas Dennis. Able to lurker. He basically read Brown's eyes the entire way. And jumped the route, gets the big play. Where does that lead to? Well, we got 8:22 left. Guys, I think this is the second to last drive before the half for St. Louis. Manny Wilkins stepping back up. Bam. Damon Arnett gets the sack. Guys, remember, Damon Arnett's a former first-round pick. So this is his opportunity to get himself back in the league. Doesn't really do anything. You end up getting a holding penalty on that play. So backs you up 10, backs you up to the 20-yard line. Going down the left sideline, incomplete. 3rd and 19. This is Houston's opportunity to get off the field. This was it for them. And you still weren't able to do it. Incredible that this never even happened for St. Louis. That you went into this game with opportunities right in front of you. Imagine this. Just imagine this, guys. It's 3rd and 19. Your first time, boom. Jacob Sailors just makes plays over and over. You can't tackle in the open space. Doesn't do anything. And he gets the first down. And again, the penalties kept coming. You get another holding penalty. So now you're backed up 2nd and 20 at your own 29. You get 3 by Howard. but Jakor Howard, excuse me. It's 3rd and 17. Another 3rd and long. Another opportunity to get off the field. By the way, shout out Jarvion Howard. My bad. Manny Wilkins. Jakor Pearson, again making plays. Makes a few men miss. Gets all the way down to the Houston 38. Too many men on the field. Wouldn't have really mattered. Guys, you just could not get off the field, dude. That's the bottom line. You just could not get off the field to save your life. It was bad. You end up, but finally the defense gets a little bit of a victory because you force a field goal. It's good. You go to the 2-minute warning. 11 plays, 61-yard drive, and you burn off 628. This is what wins games at the end of the day, is discipline and your opportunity to create plays at the end of the day. That is what ultimately will drive the opportunity all the way up for teams, is your ability to dominate the time of possession, your ability to chew clock, your ability to wear down defenses. That's what's going to help you as an offense. Now it looks like it's going to be to the end of the half. Houston trying to get something back. Something. So Anthony Brown makes a few short passes, doesn't really do much. Houston takes a timeout. Throws a bad throw. Makes a bad throw in the middle of the field, looking for Jared Hall. Or Jeremy Hall. Or Justin Hall, excuse me. Guys, you really couldn't get anything going. That's just the bottom line. So you end up having to punt the football away again. 57 seconds away. This gives St. Louis plenty of time to make plays. Manny Wilkins, right up the middle, gets to the Houston 40. Or excuse me, by the way, Jakor Pearson ends up creates a big punt return, gets all the way to the St. Louis 48. There's a penalty for an illegal formation at 5 yards, and you're on the other side of the Houston 47. It's just mental errors are going to kill you. Special teams has been a big thing for the Battlehawks as well. All right. You end up getting into field goal range in 2 plays with 33 seconds left. Get one to Frank Darby. You take 2 chances in the end zone. You say, screw it. We're going to go ahead and kick the field goal. You go into the half 18-0. Going into quarter number 2. Or going into quarter number 3, excuse me. So who's getting the football to start off? Obviously, Houston. Anthony Brown does it again. Does nothing. Another 3 and out. So at this point in the game, if you were CJ, hey, Johnson, you're saying, all right, that's enough. We're done. St. Louis goes ahead. You finally get off the field if you're Houston. It's a win for you. Jarvion Howard. First play, 9 yards. 3rd and 2, Jacob Sailors goes for 25. Now you're at the Houston 30. 3rd and 4, Manny Wilkins gets stopped short of the first down. 4th and 1. I feel like this was one of the few mistakes that St. Louis made throughout the game. It was this one right here. Their decision to go for it on 4th and 1. Now, I understand it's the first game. You want to make a statement early on. But instead of trying to go with the option with what you had with either Jarvian Howard or Jacob Sailors. You decide to drop back and you try to throw the quick out, and it doesn't go well for you. So now Houston takes over. Nolan Henderson is now in the game. And even he didn't do a whole lot. I talked to a guy who was at the game, and I was like, dude, is this going to be another rough season? This is what he said. Anthony Brown couldn't get going at all. Henderson looked a little better, but still not too good. Dude, the Roughnecks have just had no success ever since the XFL folded initially in 2020. Regardless of that, Nolan Henderson doesn't do anything whatsoever and company. They have to punt the football away. Basically a 3 and out. Except they got one. All right. So you start off. Jarvian Howard, first play, 20 yards. This was Jarvian Howard and Jacob Sailors' drive. Jarvian Howard, 20-yard run. Manny Wilkins, Jarvian Howard. Jarvian Howard up the middle for 2. 3rd and 4, going to Ja'Cour Pearson. I'm going to my third targets in Ja'Cour Pearson, and I'm going to Jacob Sailors. Those two guys were dominant tonight. Oh, and by the way, where was last year's UFL Offensive Player of the Year? It seemed like it was no problem, despite not having them. Who cares? No Hakeem Butler, no problem. Guys, Hakeem Butler had 1 target tonight. 1. It didn't matter because of how dominant you were today. Jacob Sailors. Guess what happens the next 4 plays? Jacob Sailors off the right side. Jacob Sailors. Jacob Sailors. Jacob Sailors. That offensive line came to play. Get the first down. You're up to Houston 13 by the time we get to the end of the third quarter. So, and mind you, you've taken away 6 minutes off the clock. Manny Wilkins trying to go to Hakeem Butler ends up getting overturned for, I think it was supposed to be a defensive pass interference, ends up turning into that indeed. So you end up getting first down. First play of the drive, or first play at 1st and goal. Manny Wilkins, design quarterback option, reads the defensive end, manages to fight him off a little bit, gets into the end zone. And that was basically the final nail in the coffin at that point. Houston would try to do a little bit of something, but again, you had no answer whatsoever. You started to get a little bit of something. Nolan Henderson started to run a little bit, scrambled a good bit, showed a little bit of his speed, got inside the 20-yard line, got down near to the 10. 2 back-to-back incomplete passes looking for Chisholm. And then you finally go back to Justin Hall on the underneath route. That gets broken up on a perfect play call. And then this one was just a beauty. Max Duggan comes in, gets 15, and then Jarvian Howard goes 74 yards for the longest rushing touchdown of the UFL regular season ever. Heck of a run, dominant performance. That run right there just basically sealed the deal. Runs like these are winning you football games. And boy, was it a dominant run. Let me just show you guys how dominant this run was. Guys, this was about as good a run as I've seen in a while. Well, I say that, but this was as good as an offensive line performance I've seen in a while. So excuse me on that one. But anyways, guys. But the biggest storyline in this one was St. Louis's ability to dominate the game. Their ability to own the line of scrimmage. So here we go. Let's take a look at the touchdown from Jarvion Howard. Boom. And let me just say this. Where is the gap integrity? Where is gap integrity? Right here. First of all, we need to squeeze down. We're getting washed out by this pulling guard. That just creates the open hole that Jarvion Howard needs to run right up the middle. And all this center has to do is pick up this safety because we're playing cover one. That's just about it. Never mind. We're going to pick up that linebacker. It doesn't matter. One-on-one with the safety. We're going to win that battle. We're going to break off another tackle because we can't tackle in space. And we're going to win the battle. Incredible run. Absolutely incredible run. Then they finally get a 2-point conversion. They get the 1-point conversion, Max Duggan gets into the end zone and gets that one. Houston will score again. Nolan Henderson to Justin Hall from 5 yards out. Puts up a pretty decent run. Nolan Henderson scrambled quite a bit today. And then you get the 4th and 12 conversion from Nolan Henderson because he gets yanked by his face mask back, I think, 3 times. And believe it or not, Peter Talamopo Mapanu from Utah 2 years ago was XFL Defensive Player of the Year. If you really think about it, got 3 sacks during this one, back-to-back on 3rd and 4th down to close out the game. Overall takeaways from this one. Like I mentioned already, Manny Wilkins came out firing on all cylinders. 17 of 22, a $189. Added 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground with 8 carries for 43 yards. So 232 passing yards is not a bad way to end off a game. And I give all the credit in the world to Coach Anthony Beck because he said it in his post-game interview with Brock Heward. He said, I wanted my 50 guys to be better and really dominate today. I wanted my guys to really pop off. And boy, did they do so. They absolutely dominated. And I was so impressed with how they performed today. Could not ask for anything better. Could not ask for a better start to the game. And the running game. Jarvion Howard, Jacob Sailors, Manny Wilkins, all over the field tonight. Just plain dominance is what you saw tonight. And that was about as impressive as a game I've seen from St. Louis. And hell, maybe even from all of the UFL today. We'll see what tomorrow's action is going to bring. We're going to be live following those games. We're going to break those 2 games down. Guys, can't wait for that one. Houston, what's the future looking like? I think Nolan Henderson's going to be your guy from here on out. I think he showed out the most. I mean, for a guy that finished 4 with 4 rushes for 54 yards, 7 of 18 passing. And by the way, that St. Louis front 4 got after it. They absolutely got after it with 3 sacks on the day. They put a lot of pressure on Nolan Henderson, made him scramble a lot. Same with Anthony Brown. Made them both scramble a lot. What's impressive is this, guys. Hakeem Butler, 0 catches on the day. Ja'Cour Pearson, 6 catches, 83 yards. What a game. Jacob Sailors, to me, had arguably one of the best games that nobody's going to talk about today. 16 carries for 98 yards, 4 catches, 47. Dude had a monster game and was all over the field. He's going to be used a lot in the St. Louis Battlehawks offense. Guys, I'm excited for what this league is going to bring. I know that there was a lot of BS-ery about what we saw and what we had during the offseason. That doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, I want to briefly talk about this before we hop off because I wasn't going to be along with our post-game show. By the way, make sure y'all hit up our boys over at vocalbreaks.com. We'll hear a quick word from them, and we'll get to our final thoughts on tonight's action.
Are you a music producer, DJ, or just someone who loves to remix tracks? Well, say goodbye to messy, low-quality track separations and hello to vocalbreaks.com, the most powerful AI-driven music editing tool on the market. Unlike other separation tools, Vocal Breaks harnesses the most advanced AI model available, delivering crystal clear vocals, pristine instrumentals, and an unmatched precision, all online with no software required. You can extract vocals or instrumentals with studio quality accuracy. It's perfect for remixes, mashups, karaoke, and music production, and for a faster, cleaner, and more reliable than any other service. So if you want the best, don't settle for less. Go on over to vocalbreaks.com and use code LucasHill10 now and experience the full future of AI-powered music editing. That's vocalbreaks.com using code LucasHill10.
Let's get to our final thoughts as we close out on the opening game of UFL weekend. Overall, guys, I mean, just wasn't a good showing for Houston whatsoever. I thought it was embarrassing. Be honest with you guys, the future for CJ Johnson, I would definitely be questioning it right now, especially if you are a UFL guy. So this was what the UFL commission wanted to talk about earlier today. Because, by the way, The Rock was supposed to be at Houston, and this is what our guy Ace, who's a United Football Media insider, who's also the vice president of content for the Houston Roughnecks insider with the United Football Media. By the way, shout out to the United Football Media. If y'all are watching this right now, we have a very good relationship with them, have a very good relationship with all that are involved in that place. Initially was supposed to be in Houston today. So he took off this morning at 3 a.m. and had to turn around for an emergency landing for failed hydraulics. She said this unprompted, so this should put away any rumors on why he wasn't attending the UFO opener tonight. But it just seemed really weird that he did this, but there wasn't anybody in there. They said that on the attendance record, according to Mike Mitchell, 7,000 people were in attendance. At Tedeki, I don't know if it's true or not, but the UFLPA came out and posted a letter for The Rock that they were going to give to him during the game. Dear Dwayne The Rock Johnson, we, the United Football Players Association, which represents the players across the UFL, write to you today to ask for your help settling our ongoing contract with the UFL, a league that you proudly co-own. For months, we have been bargaining in good faith with your lawyers The players haven't been asking for the moon and the stars, just year-round health care on a salary increase sufficient to ensure that players can afford it on their own. As a former player, you know how rough the sport of football can be and how vital healthcare insurance is. Unfortunately, the folks who work for you have refused to bargain with us in good faith. To start, UFL CEO Russ Brandon and UFL EVP Executive Vice President Daryl Johnston have refused to meet and bargain with players in person. Instead, they have threatened and retaliated against union leaders. From what we've seen, it's clear the UFL is willing to invest in everyone but the players, the guys who are suiting up every week and putting their bodies on the line. Assume that all of this is news to you and that Russ and Daryl have not told you where the negotiations really stand right now. We know that you, a former player and proud union member, would not be okay with how this has gone down. You said that your goal for the UFL is to create as many opportunities as we possibly can for all the players to win on the field and in life. We truly appreciate that and believe you mean it. That's why today we're asking for you to stand up for the players to ensure they can, in your words, live their dreams and take care of their families. Again, we deeply appreciate all you have done for this league. Your success is an inspiration for many of the players, and we know how passionate you are about doing the right thing by the players. Please help us resolve this dispute so that the players can shift all their attention to chasing their dreams and putting on a show for the great fans of the UFL. Sincerely, the United Football Players Association. So that was the letter they wanted to send out. We've already talked about my thoughts on this. I don't know what all is going to come out of this. But here's the thing. I don't know, man. Because here's the thing. Their TV contract doesn't bring in a lot of money. And an entire year of health insurance coverage for a pro player would double their cost to employ. I don't know if it's going to happen. If you have a self-sustaining league, then you are okay. In my opinion, the league is belly up after this year. And I don't like to say that, but it just does not look good. I don't know what's to happen for the league in the next few months. The money just simply isn't there. I don't know if negotiations are going to come to a head. I don't know if it will ever happen. I don't know what we'll see in the next few years. Guys, y'all have a great night. We will see you tomorrow for the end of tomorrow's UFL action. We'll cover everything that we saw. And tomorrow's action had a lot going on tomorrow. Really, really grateful that we got to see some pretty decent football today. I know it wasn't the best action, but got a lot to talk about tomorrow. Michigan Panthers and Memphis Showboats set to kick off at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and then Birmingham and D.C. set to kick off at Audi Field later on that night, and then tomorrow that night to end off, tomorrow is the only game that we have. That'll be at 3 o'clock Central Time, San Antonio and Arlington. And then to end off week 1, it'll be Michigan, Memphis, and then Birmingham, D.C. Both will be on ESPN. I think I'll be available for that one. Don't quote me on it. But really excited to get back into the thick of things. Ready to continue these post-game shows. Really loving these. Y'all have a great rest of the day. We'll see y'all tomorrow after tomorrow's action. Y'all have a great rest of the night. See you tomorrow. Peace.